and she started to pee. Okay, well, anyway, I wanted to address something about the whole controversy about indoor cat, outdoor cat, with all of, oh, there she is, all of that stuff right there. My opinion on the matter, you've got so many militant people out here these days that just, it's their way or the highway, and half the time they don't know what they're talking about. The whole, yeah, cats are safer inside, but they're natural wanderers. The door almost, they're safe from swinging doors when the wind comes by when they're inside. No, but I explained in the last video, most of the cats I've ever had were strays, and they were just wild, and they were tamed, and I was friends with them for a while, and then one day they either died from old age or they just moved on. So, I mean, I explained in the last video, Kitty's the only cat I've ever had that came from a rescue, so it's strange when I think of, how, I don't want to say extremists, but how extremists think about certain animal issues. Because, I mean, look, she's out here, she's smelling things, she's being wild, she's not wild as in the sense that she'll attack you if you walk up to her, but she's getting exercise, she's moving around, she's being a cat, she's stalking things, even if she's not trying to hurt them. She's stalking things, she's wandering, she's laying down, she's patrolling her territory, she's marking her territory, she's chasing dogs, stray dogs out of her territory. She's, regulating which cats get to come into her territory. I mean, a lot of the issues, I saw this public service commercial a couple of weeks ago, well, not weeks ago, but it's been a while, talking about, the Audubon. I think they were trying to, I don't know whether it was the Audubon Society, and I'm not trying to crack on the Audubon Society. I think they're, great. I'm a bird watcher and all of that, but I don't know whether it was the Audubon Society or whether it was they were partnered with them or whether they were advocating for them. I don't know what it was, but they were saying keep your cats indoors because domesticated cats, just kind of, in some areas, they just lay waste to the ecosystem. And I'm going to do another video on the whole stray cat thing. But I don't think that's the case in a lot of cases because, I mean, like I said in the other video, I keep referring back to it, but this one and that one kind of go hand in hand. Kitty has caught birds, but she's not what I call a bird killer. She's not hunting for food. I think she's just, she might get playful and she might go after a bird. And I had a cat that, he caught a bird, but he didn't kill it. He was just trying to basically kidnap a playmate for the time being. After he was done playing, he let the bird go. And I know cats do that sometimes. They are trying to kill whatever it is, and they, will, play with it until it dies, which, kind of gives rise to the whole cats are psychotic thing, and that might be true for some cats to a degree. But a lot of your lynxes and your bobcats and stuff like that, they'll catch things and play with them until they die, and then they'll eat them. But this wasn't the case with Kitty. She would, she's caught things, and, I'd find feathers, but I'd never find the body. So I was like, well, it got away, I guess. But like I said, Kitty's not a bird killer. I can still feed the birds and not have to worry about Kitty interfering. So, and I've seen her interact with, to verify what I've said, her food on the back porch, her food dish, the mockingbirds and the cardinals would come up, and the mockingbirds, cardinals, the blackbirds, the blue jays, the larger songbirds, and they're not large by any means, but the larger songbirds would come up and would eat out of her bowl, and she wouldn't even care. She wouldn't move. She wouldn't even budge. They were just scavengers to her, I guess, that were coming to eat her food, and she didn't really care. What I've noticed with Kitty is that I don't know, it must be something about smaller birds, because those are the birds that she tends to tense up and perk up when they're around. Because medium-sized birds, well, medium-sized songbirds, birds like that, she really doesn't care. They're friends. I know somebody's gonna say he's anthropomorphizing, but I mean, not well. I don't know. That's another video, but she doesn't really care. Is what I'm saying for some birds. So she's not the issue with her, wiping out the bird populace because I let her live outside. That's just wrong, because not all cats are hunters, and not all cats hunt the same things. You might have a cat that can't stand rats and kills rats, but you can have a house full of birds and they won't even care, or vice versa. You could have a cat that when he gets outside, he kills every bird he sees, but if you have a hamster in the house that gets loose, he'll just roll over and go back to sleep. So, I mean, now trying to generalize everything to push an agenda, it's not useful. And she's going somewhere now, and I'm going to follow her, but it's unproductive to do that. And indoor cats have a lot of advantages that outdoor cats don't, because they don't have to worry about defending themselves from predators. They don't have to worry about fighting over territory. They don't have to worry about food or water, any of that. Well, Kitty doesn't have to worry about any of that. But I mean, maybe indoor cats do have it kind of easier, but it kind of robs them of what cats are, in my opinion. And I'm not saying people that keep their cats indoors 24/7 are bad. I think it's whatever the cat prefers. When I first got Kitty, she was an indoor cat. When we introduced her to the outdoors, she barely ever comes inside anymore. So, I mean, it's what the cat prefers. And I'm sure there are some people that have, and I know for a fact, one of my friends has 2 cats that he got from a shelter in Richmond. And they are not outdoor cats by any means. they are, I don't want to say built for the indoors, but they're not outdoor cats. They've gotten outside, they were pitiful. Then there's those kind of cats. Now, if you have cats like that actually suffer when they're outside, then yes, absolutely, keep your cats inside. But a cat like Kitty that loves to be, have that mental and physical stimulation all day. She gets to run around. She gets to play with other animals. She gets to, like I said, she gets to stalk the birds, whether she wants to hurt them or not. She gets to see the deer. She gets to see the dogs that come by. She gets to see other people. She is an outdoor cat, in the sense of, if she gets old and can't take care of herself out here anymore, and like I said, she gets fed every single day. She gets water every single day. She's not wanting for anything because she's outside. It's basically, she's doing well out here. And the whole thing about, indoor cats need to be declawed and all of that, that's just so asinine. Declawing is one of the cruelest things you can do to to animals with claws, let's be honest, because it collapses the paw. It's not good for the cat. It's not good for the dog, whatever animal you have. Don't declaw your animals. That's just stupid. I'm actually taking care of one of my friend's cats that he's had since he was very little, toddler age, and for a cat, she's getting up there in years. So, and she's declawed, and I think to him that's a normal thing. If you have an indoor cat, you declaw them. But that's one of the cruelest things you can do to a cat, because they have lifelong problems after that. And it's just not as, if you have a cat that's clawing up your house, you just get something to divert that attention away from your furniture or your carpet or whatever. Don't declaw your cat. And if you think it's necessary to declaw your cat, you just don't get a cat. It's as simple as that. Because declawing is just, I can't stress that enough. That's just one of the worst things you can do to a cat's paw. And I mean, that takes away a lot of their activities. Cats don't just use their claws for killing. They use or scratching. They use their claws to run. They use their claws to clean themselves. They use their claws to climb. I mean, so much of a cat's life is dependent on their claws, and you take that away from them, you've disabled your cat. Same thing with dogs. I mean, it's not to the same degree, but you are causing a disability by doing that, and that's just I just don't get it. Even when I was little and I used to hear about people declawing their animals, I couldn't understand it. But I kind of went off on a tangent. But the whole issue, the main issue that I'm trying to address here, the neighbors over there moving around, and she's like kids to play with. She's just like the dog. But no, she's kind of more to herself sometimes. But the whole just declawing, I'm sorry, that's not what this video was about. But cats being outside. To kind of wrap it up, if your cat is willing and able to be outside, I'm not saying cast your cat outside all day long. Never let the cat back in. Make the cat fend for herself. Stop feeding him, making him hunt. You know, people will be like, that's so cruel. That's not cruel. You left the cat out in the rain. This cat likes the water. When she was living in the house full time, when we turned the sink on, she would come over and play in the sink. And I don't know, the backgrounds of everybody that, lives here. I mean, lives here, but is on this channel. But cats getting in the sink was not acceptable in my house, in my family. So, that, if she can go outside and play in all the water she wants, and it keeps her from getting in trouble from going inside and getting in the sink, I mean, that's a better option in my opinion. So, I mean, it's 50-50. I'm straight down the middle with a lot of things. So, if your cat is able, willing, has all its needs met, gets to see you on a regular basis, gets to come in the house every now and then, or every night, or every morning, or whatever the cat's routine is. Maybe you have a doggy door that the cat comes and goes. That would be ideal. For cats that like the indoors and the outdoors, that's perfect. Have a little doggy door where the cat can come in and out as it pleases. But I don't have that, and none of the places where I'm going to be doing videos from with the cats and the dogs and the horses and the birds are going to have any of those either. But that is ideal when you have a cat like, I'm describing, like Kitty. So if you have an elderly cat that can't fend for itself, maybe you have a sick cat, maybe it's a cat with a leg missing or something like that, keep him indoors. I mean, he can go outside if you permit it, if you're out there with him, if you're supervising him. But I mean, if you have a cat that's, wild and crazy and is tearing up the house and everything, and just leave the cat outside. I mean, some cats are just wild, all right? It's just a part of being a cat person, is that some cats are a little more high-strung than others. And I'm going to do horse videos where I explain how that's not really the case with horses. But with a lot of cats, some cats, I don't know. In my experiences, a lot of these are the neighbors' cars. That ain't got none of, this is not either one of the properties that we're supposed to be on. But, but, from my experiences, I'm welcome to anybody else's, cat trainers or cat breeders or whatever that'll come over here and tell me otherwise. But in my experiences, there are just cats that belong outside that are just too wild for the indoors. And you might be able to tame them over time, but a lot of cats, they're a lot of, I'm not going to say a lot, but there are those cases where cats just should be outside. But if you have a cat like Kitty that can do fine indoors or outdoors, do that. Let them be outside. Let them be indoors. Let them choose. Animals thrive when they have choices. So, I know I kind of rambled. I know I kind of talked about other things, but I think the whole issue would, I mean, it's just too militant. It's just too absolute, and she's gone out of pretty much out of camera shot now, so I'm just gonna turn the camera back towards somewhere else. But anyway, the whole issue. Let your cat be outside if he wants to be outside. Don't feed into the extremist narrative that you can't let your cat be outside, and if your cat is outside, you're a bad person. That's not true. But it's just so much controversy and so much bitterness in the animal world and in the world in general, and there's just so many people that are just determined that everything is wrong unless it's done this way. It's just not always like that, and that's the case with indoor and outdoor cats. So I hope that helped. I rambled a little bit. I'm sorry about that, but one more little shot of Kitty over at the neighbors getting into trouble. Probably smell of tomcats that have been by there. Anyway, I hope that helps. Let your cat be a cat. See y'all later.